everybody, and welcome to Performing the World Happenings 2021. Give yourselves a round of applause. We are sponsored by the Eastside Institute and made possible by all of you and thousands of other people all over the world. I'm Carrie Loebman. I am the leader of education and research at the Eastside Institute. I'm here in Montauk, a small town on the edge of Long Island next to New York City. And I'm really thrilled to be able to launch Performing the World Happenings 2021. We have many more people who will be jumping in over the course, my guess is, of the next hour. We have over 250 registrants from over 30 countries. Performing the World, which began in 2001, has grown into a global gathering and a nurturing nexus for play revolutionaries and performance activists from many walks of life, nations, and cultures. PTW has always been a cross between an academic conference, a performance festival, a playground for adults, and as you could tell from our greetings earlier, a reunion of an ever-expanding family of choice. We moved PTW online last year when the pandemic hit. This year, we reached out to innovative activists, artists, and academics doing similar work to create a session together on suggested themes. Today's opening is one of 13 sessions that PTWH is offering every Saturday between today, September 25th, and October 16th. We're showcasing all sorts of work and play from all over the globe that engages in a wide variety of ways. This year's theme, All Together Now: Separation, connection, and other myths. Let's take a moment to see who is here today. So I'm going to urge everybody to go to gallery view. I am. And if we can, no, it will not let me go to gallery view, but there you go. So what I want to do, if you're willing, I'd love for everybody to turn on their cameras. I know not everybody is able to. Just click your camera on. And let's see who is with us today. So take a quick glance around. You probably have multiple screens. And this is what I'd like you to do. If it is early morning for you, and that means different things for different people, give a giant stretch. All right. If it is afternoon or evening for you, give us a wiggle. Fantastic. If it is late at night and you have persevered through a long day to join us here at Performing the World Happenings, give us your best yawn. Excellent. Thank you. All right, it's going to be cacophonous, but wait till I give the direction. If you speak more than one language, or if you speak one language, I would like everybody to unmute yourself and give a great shout of hello in the language of your choice on the count of 3. Everybody unmute.
Hello.
How you doing? Hello. How are you?
Hey.
Everybody.
Hola.
Bien.
Last one. Before I turn it over to Lois Holtzman. If this is your very first PTW, please take a bow, and everybody else give them a round of applause. Thank you. If you've been to PTW before, whether in person or online, wave your arms in the air. Wonderful. And finally, if you have been to every single PTW since 2001, I would like you to move in very close to your camera.
Oh.
Excellent. So welcome everybody. You are now all part of our Performing the World Happenings 2021 community. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to hand this over to my friend, my colleague, my mentor, to Lois Holtzman, the primary organizer of Performing the World and the director of the East Side Institute. Take it away, Lois. And unmute.
Unmute. Yep.
Of course. I am unmuted, yes? Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Good,
Yes.
okay,
Ow!
okay. Thank you, Carrie. Lovely, lovely to see all of you. And again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I'm thrilled to be here with you. And I want to begin by sharing some questions that helped us organize ourselves as to how to begin this conference, festival, gathering. Here they are. How can we welcome and include you in this opening? Is there a message that we as the organizers and hosts want to deliver? A framework or setting the stage for what's to come? What does it mean to be and become all together now? What's the political climate in which Performing the World happenings is taking place? And is its happening itself a political statement? These are some of what we were pondering as we were designing this opening session. As we gather today and the next 3 Saturdays, we bring with us the emotional toll of being alive at this moment in human history, when destruction and reaction rule and ruin the day. We don't leave our fear, anger, and sadness, nor our joy, love, and compassion at the Zoom room door. Can we create environments that ground us in the simultaneity of these emotions? I think that we can and that we will. It took a while to come up with something that acknowledges the tremendous growth in creative, humanizing social experiments taking place all over the globe, but that doesn't in any way diminish the exploitation, oppression, and crimes against humanity and the planet that the world's people are experiencing. Can we create an environment that grounds us in these 2 directions that history is taking? I hope that we have. Here's what I came up with. We have a video to show you. It consists of 4 people who have devoted their lives in very different ways to not just exposing the roots of people's suffering, but equally, if not more important, of doing something about it. Let me tell you about them. Fred Newman was a political activist, therapist, playwright, director, and philosopher. He is the creator of social therapy and one of the founders of Performing the World events. He co-founded the East Side Institute with me and the All Stars Project with Lenora Fulani, who you will also be hearing from. Raoul Peck is a Haitian-born filmmaker of both documentary and feature films. His family left Haiti during the Duvalier dictatorship when he was 8 years old. He grew up in the Congo and has also lived in the United States, France, and Germany. Among his prize-winning films are Lumumba, Death of a Prophet, I Am Not Your Negro, The Young Karl Marx, and most recently, Exterminate the Brutes. Lenora Fulani is a political activist, grassroots educator, and developmental psychologist. She's well known for her groundbreaking work with the All Stars Project. She is just as significantly a leader of the independent political movement in the United States and made history in 1988 as the first woman and the first African American to be on the presidential ballot in all 50 states. And the last of the 4, Arundhati Roy is an Indian novelist, best known for her prize-winning book, the god of small things. She's also a political activist for human rights and environmental causes. She is a prolific current events commentator whose essays on globalism, terrorism, imperialism, and the social and political struggles in India are read by millions of people around the world. Can we have the video, please? Feel free to write in the chat as you're watching.
We have to redo the whole damn thing, and the way to redo it is to perform it. This time around, the people of the world will just get together and do a new show, a new performance. We'll try it again, because the last one, and we're all involved in this, stinks. That's what I mean by performing the world.
Telling that story, it took a lot of thinking in order to tell a story where for the first time you tell the story of the genocide of Native Americans, and then you tell the story of slavery, and then you tell also the one of the major extermination story, which is the Holocaust. You know, and for the first time, I think, at least on film, you can see the connections between them. And for me, it's a huge step. You know, it's taking all those atrocity in a different context. And for me, it can only be the beginning of a wider conversation. You know, instead of you know, each part keeping their own malheur, they're keeping their own death, their own pain, and sometimes being used against each other, you know? And that's a device that have been used for many, many years. And for me, the film is also a step to break that separate narrative. There is not many different stories. There is one historical knowledge, and we need to access it. And to your question, and that's the leitmotif in the series. You know, we already know enough. You know, the problem is, what do we do with that knowledge? You know.
Being an adolescent and teenager, that's one of the most conservatized times, in my opinion, in life. The kids think they're hip and they're radical and they're breaking out of things, but they all look alike. They wear the same outfit. They're extremely concerned with how people see them and what they're doing and if they look right and if they got it right. And so what performance does is to give you a tool to introduce to them a way of being other than that they feel more comfortable with, because they, you know, either think they're acting or they learn some things through performance. They're willing to take the risk to perform, and you can't grow developmentally unless you're willing to take risk. I don't know, it makes them bigger. It makes them other. It makes them have a sense of themselves and what they can succeed at and perform, that going to school and sitting in a classroom just doesn't. Poverty robs you of the right to be a kid, because oftentimes you have to start dealing with things that most adults in this country never have to deal with. So we give them that back, and I think there's a real connection to being creative, in touch with who they are, being childlike, if you will, young, and being able to dream.
What is this thing that has happened to us? It's a virus, yes. In and of itself, it holds no moral brief. But it's definitely more than a virus. Some believe it's God's way of bringing us to our senses. Others, that it's a Chinese conspiracy to take over the world. Whatever it is, coronavirus has made the mighty kneel and brought the world to a halt like nothing else could. Our minds are still racing back and forth, longing for a return to normality, trying to stitch our future to our past and refusing to acknowledge the rupture. But the rupture exists. And in the midst of this terrible despair, it offers us a chance to rethink the doomsday machine we have built for ourselves. Nothing could be worse than a return to normality. Historically, pandemics have forced humans to break with the past and imagine their world anew. This one is no different. It's a portal, a gateway between one world and the next. We can choose to walk through it, dragging the carcasses of our prejudice and hatred, our avarice, our data banks and dead ideas, our dead rivers and smoky skies behind us. Or we can walk through lightly with little luggage, ready to imagine another world and ready to fight for it.
Thanks, everyone, for sharing responses in the chat. In addition, we've asked the creative directors and presenters for all of the Performing the World Happening sessions to video record a 1-minute response to Fred, Raul, Lenora, and Arundhati. And we created a video montage of some of them. Let's watch it.
We made progress. Progress. And where did that bring us? Separation. Slavery. Genocide. Holocaust. Heaviness. Carcasses. Hopelessness. It's time we redo the damn thing. Let the kids be kids. Let us all be creative to imagine a new world, a world of new possibilities. You and me together.
I would like to look at these statements by Dr. Fred Newman, by Raul Peck, by Dr. Lenore Fulani, and Arundhati Roy together. I would like to see their statements as a whole. As a whole, they direct us to see the world and to see in new ways. To see the genocide committed against Native peoples, to see the enslavement of African people, to see the rape, the subjugation, the pain, to see the Holocaust against the Jewish people, and the ongoing brutality and suffering in today's world. The pandemic that Roy speaks about, the poverty and deprivation that Fulani speaks about. Together, we see the world, and we see that the people of the world have experienced oppression and exploitation. And also, the authors point to the power of people going beyond and outside of the institutions of everything staying the same. The power of people coming together in new ways. It seems to me that the four of them together demand that we see differently, that we see possibility, with hope, with poetry, with performance, with development, that we the people, all the people, including we who have had nothing, that we build and perform a new world. And we at Performing the World are coming together in building and performing that new world.
Hi, this is Juan David Garzón, and this is my response to the PTW 2021 opening video. See you there.
What is normal? Normal to whom? For so long we have settled for such a tiny sliver of what is possible, the worlds we could be creating. Of the infinite permutations of reality, why would we consent to and settle for this one? Of course, the question presupposes that we all have an equal choice. But if the last year and change has shown us anything, it is that if normal is even a thing, it is ruefully tenuous, easily disrupted, destroyed, or denied. Normal is just one of the many illusions that have maintained the lie of shared reality. Yet, we can both see. And please, don't confuse seeing with sight. If we are lucky and we are brave, we can choose to perform the world differently, to embrace a new way of being and becoming. Forget normal. Normal is dead. Most of us have spent our lives walking around as embodied eulogies for normal anyway. I ask you, with our disparate perceptions of reality, what impossible worlds will we build together? If not normal, what will we return to instead?
Performing the World Conference always to evolve new things, new ideas, to face new challenges of the world. And this time we are facing COVID. And we all are wearing masks. And this mask is not for masking the face only. This is also to unmask so many things. I mean, reality with medical science, understanding about education, understanding about economy, and the world as a whole. So this time we are meeting online, but hopefully we'll be able to unmask so many things through this mask. And see you then online in the Performing the World Conference.
We are beating hearts, we are flesh and blood, we are lived experience. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, we are many cultures. We open doors and offer choice, so everyone can find their voice. We are beating hearts, we are flesh and blood, we are lived experience.
私はメンタルヘルス領域のソーシャルワーカーとして実践を重ねて、今年で40年以上になりますが、その経験から言うと、心の病とは人が生きている場や地域、そして社会に内在化した苦悩がそこに凝縮されているっていう実感を持っています。そしてそこから考えるリカバリーとは、個人に内在化された苦悩や生きにくさをさまざまな手立てを用いて、その人が生きている場や社会に向かって発信すること、そして対話を続けることでもたらされるものだと考えています。大切にしてきたのは自分自身で共にという理念ですが、どのような体験でも無駄にせず、意味ある経験として私たちが学び、生かし合う社会をぜひ実現したいというふうに思っています。
Reunidos pelo botão, é a comunidade do Pilarzinho aí, gente! mexer, corpo sai.
Te juro, tarja branca é o remédio pro futuro. Te juro, tarja branca é o remédio pro futuro. Não precisa.
Hey, look there at that gateway, that portal in our view. Let's leave behind our luggage and start a world that's new. I see people everywhere saying, come along with me. They're saying, let's make a new history. And so let's dance and go lightly, my hand holding yours. That history of horrors no one else should endure. Let's try that again. Let's perform our world. Yeah. Let's try that again. Let's perform our world. Yeah.
Hi, this is Ishita Sanyal from India. Yes, I have gone through all the statements of the conference, the opening ceremony, and I'm overwhelmed by it. And I think one thing has been repeated again and again by all the speakers, maybe directly, maybe indirectly, that is, they are all talking about performance, which Fred Newman mentioned again and again to us. During the time of adversities, the challenges of life, which push us to develop a new performance, a new conversation, a new outlook towards the world and the realities of life. So instead of being locked in the dilemma between the normalcy, the pre-COVID situation, and what would happen after this post-COVID era, I think we could start creating something new with what we have at present. And any creation or performance without the fear of evaluation gives us the heavenly pleasure in mind, the pleasure that we achieve only through performance. Thank you.
What do we do with the time we have, the time that's been given to us? Do we keep doing the same thing, following the same script? Let's all breathe. Try something new. Let's dare to believe. Let's dare to dream. Yes, let's. What do we do with the time we have, the time that's been given to us? We are alive, so let's take a breath. Connect with each other and try to build bridges. Build bridges across seas, countries and continents. Build bridges to know each other and listen to each other. No, really listen. Listen to each other's hearts. Listen to the voiceless, those living in poverty. What do we do with the time we have, the time that's been given to us? We stretch, we smile, and we dance. What do we do with the time we have, the time that's been given to us? We be.
Hi, I'm Hugh Polk, a psychiatrist and social therapist in New York City. I was so moved by Fred and Lenora and Arundhati and Raoul's beautiful and passionate words about the ugliness of the world and their call to perform the world anew. One of the uglinesses that I deal with every day is the emotional pain and suffering that we all endure. People tell me of their sadness and their grief and their rage and more, and almost always they blame themselves for it. but it's not their fault. It's how the world is organized which produces that pain. And we can't just get rid of the pain, but we can do something about it. We ordinary people from all walks of life can, through performance, can create new performances of conversation. We can share our pain with each other and use it to get closer. We can use our differences to build with each other. And we can listen and be curious about other people. And in these ways, we can create our all-togetherness moment to moment. So that's what we're going to do together in the next 4 weeks. We're going to create new emotions together. And I couldn't be happier to be participating with all of you in doing that.
Hello, Performing the World happenings. This is Rita Ezenwa Okoro from Nigeria. I'm excited that we are all together now. I was in the session where Stephen Licardi got us to create poetry. And I'd like to share one of the poems with you. It's titled One with the Sound. Voices of people in my head. The certain voices of naysayers in my head. Palpitations of my heartbeat vibrating in my head. The symphony of anxiety triggers my fingers to quiver and palms to sweat. Uncertain what this orchestra of mixed instruments will bring. Should I be one with the sound, or should I be invisible?
A poem. How do we build a portal to a new world? Dare we play with the shit, the trauma, the genocides on repeat, and daily alienations? To redo, reset, recreate the whole thing, not just the particulars. Performing into new discoveries. Thank you for your offerings, Fred, Lenora, Raul, Arundhati. Let's plant your seeds of love and concern and see what we grow together at Performing the World and beyond.
Unidos pelo botão, é a comunidade do Pilarzinho aí, gente!
Unmute, Lois.
I am so sorry.
There we go. Great. Thanks, Lois.
Thank you all, the wonderful performers in that video, and Michael Walsh and David Belmont for putting it together. That was so wonderfully diverse and moving and joyful and sad at the same time. Just what I was hoping we could capture. So now it's your turn. We have a few minutes left of this opening ceremony, and we'd love to hear from as many of you as possible. Thank you for what you've written in the chat. So if you want to speak, just volunteer by raising your Zoom hand. Carrie.
So to find your Zoom hand, go down to the bottom of your screen where it says reactions. Click on reactions, and one of the options should be raise hand. We need you to do it that way so that you pop to the top of our participant list.
Okay.
So to have a chance, raise your hand.
Right, and don't think about it, just raise your hand. You don't have to know what you're gonna do. So we want you to respond to anything or everything that you've just heard and seen, and you can do it in words, in song, in poetry, in movement, in facial expression, and even silence. The only thing we ask is that you keep it very, very, very short so that we can get to as many of you as possible. Okay, you ready? Let's take the first 5 people and spotlight them, or move them to the top anyway, and go for it.
This is Chakri from India. I think really excited. I think what I'm seeing here is a challenge, and I also see our readiness for the challenge, and really excited to start playing.
I can't, I don't know who's next, so just speak quickly or move or do whatever. Just identify
Sinisha.
that you're the next person so we can look at you.
Yeah, Sinisha from Serbia. I was very busy this week, and then I just jumped in. Finally, here I will be here, and the real playing for me is when you forget on all the other things that there are, and just said, okay, I needed to be here just by watching these videos, even before having you all meeting in live, or it's in virtual life at least. It was great beginning.
Great, thank you.
With your bride, I hope. Sinisa, with your bride, I hope.
Sorry, with
your bride, I think you said.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. On the next session, yeah, we will see us together. Thanks.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thanks for mentioning, Vikram.
Okay, Kathy.
I think you're next.
Kathy? Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. That was beautiful. Vikram. Vikram, I think you need to unmute Vikram. You're still on mute. I think we'll come back to you. Dan and Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl. I got something to say. Really only one thing. Arun Hadi Roy. I might be mispronouncing it, but I'm gonna learn how to say that name, and I'm gonna read every word of hers that I can find. She blew my mind. She was the one person in that opening video that I knew the least of her work. So mind blown. Thank you.
Thank you. Kate. Katie B.
I hope you could hear the music.
Yes, it was wonderful. Thank you. All right, let's try Vikram. He is now off mute.
Yeah, it was actually very mind-blowing. The words which you have said is very encouraging and very motivating.
Good, thank you.
Most welcome.
Happy to hear that. Okay, we must have more people who want to say something to everybody. Going once.
I do.
Okay.
I loved every single person. It was so wonderful, and I was so blessed to be here at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Alistair. Alistair, can you unmute?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Now, Alistair, if you could turn on your video. Oh, there you are. Great.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I want to apologize for being late. I got on when feedback was going on. Just want to say a special thank you that I can be a part of the Performing the World happenings for the second time. Last year was my first experience, and I really enjoyed the advocacy work, the way you guys use the arts to educate and enlighten minds in your various communities. I've been inspired, and I've been doing some work in my community as well.
Good. Thank you so much.
As time goes by, just as a little. As time goes by, I'm going to share more on that.
Wonderful. We look forward to it.
Has been.
Hi everybody. I love the kind of the video pieces. What was said. I was very moved by Steve Liccardi and his poetry, and like the question of do we dare build with shit, and so I think I'm just gonna be not just contemplating, but you know, getting more into the shit and building with it, and figuring out ways of creating ways of doing that with people. Yeah.
Thanks, husband.
David and/or Gwen. You having trouble unmuting?
So, I think he's on a device that he is not familiar with.
I think this is his response.
That's possible, right?
Just so people know.
There you go.
I was on the team that put that video together. I can't unmute myself on Zoom. Yes, thank you, Lois, for the cover. I am on my friend Gwen Mandel's iPad. We are in Boston for some tennis, but we did not want to miss this opening ceremony. And I am so psyched for Performing the World Happenings. I mean, those videos brought tears to my eyes, and I had seen them literally 100 times. So this is so right on. It is so great to be here with all of you, and I'm so looking forward to not just the next 4 Saturdays, including today, but weeks, months, years, decades, and lives together, performing a new world.
Thanks, David, for all you've done. Let's have 1 or 2 more. Hands. Zoom hands.
Marianne.
It's a rare moment that I don't have much to say, but I have a lot to feel. Thank you, everybody. It's just very joyous and hopeful to be with you.
Yeah, really.
We just had someone, Vikram.
Did you raise your hand again, Vikram? I think he's either having trouble unmuting, Lois, or.
There he is, unmuted.
Yes, sir. I raised my hand, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Did you want to speak?
Actually, the work that Turning Point and Ishita ma'am are doing, it's very, encouraging and motivating. It's very inspirational. I have been associated with Turning Point for almost 6 years now.
That's wonderful. Hopefully people noticed in the video that there was the name and the date of the session that performer was in, and Vikram is referring to the session that Ishita Sanyal referred to. It's in your schedule, and don't miss it. Okay, 2 more, Melissa.
Or Joy. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Joyce, Susan, Kate, Chris, and Alice had their hand up. Wait, they only had 1 hand, but they had it up.
My dream in watching this is Times Square, is having it huge in Times Square with thousands and thousands of people. watching that beautiful, beautiful international performance and the Times Squares around the world, wherever they are.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Melissa Meyer.
What can we do if we stop blaming ourselves for being in pain and using it instead to create something new?
Thank
Yes.
you. Okay, Carrie, we are out of time. Is that
We
correct?
are almost.
Okay, thank you so much.